Welcome to the Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. That's spooky there. Like, my name's Buddy Pulley. Joined by
that's my game face, buddy.
Oh, okay. Deer in headlights. That's your game face.
Hell yeah, bro.
My name is Buddy Pulley, co-host of this podcast. Joined by Push to Pass's Seth Dolby. Make sure you watch Push to Pass. It is up on our YouTube channel now.
Don't sell yourself short, buddy. You are also the host of On Tour.
I also
Folsom.
am. Yeah, I wanted to be humble because it is the #1 rated show on this YouTube channel. But Push to
We all
Pass
picked
is
up last
making
week,
it.
though, so.
Yeah, Push to Pass is making a push to pass. And of course the rundown from Down Under was the #1 rated video last week. Dover. Yeah, shout out to Shane Van Gisbergen. Dover. We went to Dover for our first time. That was really fun. We had I think I had a fantastic time.
I had a very enjoyable time.
Yeah,
yes.
Dover is, I don't know. It's just a fun track. It's just a nice track to go to. And like the view we had great seats. We sat right there out of four, kind of like we do for Darlington. I mean, it's awesome seats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll get into it. There's a little to be desired with the race, but I thought for the most part it was a pretty decent race. But yeah, I mean, we had a great time. We drove through DC at like 2 a.m. Saw America's penis and drove past the White House. Could not see it.
Yeah. That had led into, well, so the whole reason we ended up doing that is because if you're not from America, which 60% of our audience isn't, going to Washington D.C. is hectic to say the least.
Yes.
During the day.
Yeah.
So we figured, how often are you going to be able to go through there at 2 a.m. when there's no one out?
Yeah.
So we said, all right, cool. We'll take a little 30-minute detour and go and do it. It was fine. Yeah, like Buddy said, we saw the Washington Monument. We saw the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Drove by the White House.
The Washington Monument is America's penis. That
is what that is.
Yes.
And then we almost got got in a head-on collision with a guy going the wrong way on the freeway.
Hell yeah.
That was a hectic couple of seconds.
I was gonna save that for dumbass, but that is a certified dumbass of the week. That was hilarious. And yeah, I mean,
not in the moment.
If you guys have never been to DC, the south side of DC is somewhere you don't want to don't want to be at night. It's a little sketchy. So Seth Dolby, our wonderful chauffeur on this trip, decides to get lost in Southside DC at 2:00 in the morning. So Seth almost got us murdered, but we are here and we made it to Dover and froze our nuts off at the Xfinity race and sweated our balls off at the Cup race. So that was real fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't remember another weekend I've gone to where
Darlington 2022. Oh, you didn't go to that Xfinity race.
Was it hot that day for the Xfinity race?
It was hot as balls, dude.
Yeah. But
it was colder than witch's tit in a brass bra during that Xfinity race today.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah, but after Saturday, I was totally fine with sweating a little on Sunday. It was kind of nice. Nice change of pace.
Yeah. I'm sure it was perfect temperature for our friends, our Canadian friends, Eric, Frank, Cedric, and Jonathan. They gifted me this wonderful Habs hoodie, and I am an honorary Canadian now. It was, if you guys, well, I guess you guys don't know because the content never made the final cut of the Safari on Garage Guys, but we met them last year at Bristol, and if you want to know the full story, you would have to see us at the racetrack, and I'll tell you the full story when it's not on record. But I just want to give a shout out to them. They're fun people to come down with, or to party with, and we walked around the racetrack, drank a lot of beer, and had a great time. They're loyal listeners of the show and just great people. So can't wait for next year when they go to potentially Martinsville and we'll have another fucking great time. So shout out to y'all. I love y'all.
Hopefully they make the racing a little bit better for you guys by then.
Yeah. You guys are fucking G's. I wish I could say something in French, but y'all only taught me bad words. Yeah.
When have we shied away from that on this podcast?
They.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. We both decided at the same time.
Yeah,
it was time to take drinks.
That was unprofessional, and on a professional show, they timed that out.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, our weekend, it was a fun weekend. Like I said, we said, went to Wawa like 15 times. Yeah. Shout out to Tyler for
Tyler, if you guys don't know, which you don't, since you don't know Tyler, Tyler is. It seems like he's the world's biggest exotic gas station fan.
Exotic. I like that exotic gas station, like a Sheetz or a Buc-ee's. Yeah. Bro is he's quite the fan. It's a fetish. But no, Tyler's one of our very, very good friends. And he came with us, and we went to Wawa a lot, and every time it was quite the experience for sure. What else did we do? We placed some bets. I forgot about that.
Yes, we almost won a Ferrari.
Yeah,
Not really.
Yeah, dude, we were we each placed a couple bets at the casino behind the racetrack because duh. And I hit on a Hocevar over Priest. And that, that really
got to do the thing, buddy.
Yeah, I hit.
I mean, we didn't cash it, but still.
Yeah. Seth, you guys can roast Seth in the comments. Seth did not let me go and cash my earnings because it was
not enough. A strong word.
Not enough to justify him driving around the track. So fuck.
Well,
let
you is a strong word because when we were leaving the campsite, they kind of just shoved us out the one way, and I had no idea how to get back the other way.
Look, man, I had fucking $5 on a Hocevar over Priest, and I won a whopping $525 plus 105, baby, cash money. And then we absolutely failed in all of our other bets.
There weren't a whole lot of good things with good odds. The only thing I thought that was kind of maybe going to be a decent bet early on was Jimmy Johnson plus 10,000 when he went fifth in practice.
Yeah,
he went fifth and first in that practice round, and I was like, actually, that's not too bad. And then he ran, laster than last all day. So
I had Brad Keselowski to win at plus 4,500, and that was looking good for a little bit, and then
Buddy and Tyler, every time Brad Keselowski passed anyone, went nuts.
Money, baby, money. We're about to build some submarines, god damn it. We had that. I had Buescher over Busch, and of course Kyle Busch finally puts together a race. I had a prop bet for any number car winning from 20 to 29, and 3 out of 5 of them wrecked in the same wreck. And who'd you have? You had Ty Gibbs to win. That didn't come anywhere close to happening. So, and Tyler had a Ford to win, and that, nope.
Also didn't happen.
Yeah. So,
it was, of course, between a Chevy and a Toyota at the end, which all season has. But
all those collabs and work we did with the garage guys did not pay off worth a shit.
Well, to be fair, we never got any lessons in betting. We just
They also have golden horseshoes stuck up their ass, I feel like sometimes.
Yeah, which to be fair, we could get on the I guess the Discord still exists and just get whatever Dale's doing
free
now.
It's free. Discord is free. So we played some bets, didn't hit any of them. But we watched some good racing. Some midweek stuff. Eric Jones, obviously, guys, if you guys watched the race, he did not compete. He's got is it a compression fracture in his back or after his wreck at Talladega. I think it's about time we fix these cars. I don't know.
Well, that kind of that kind of injury happened in Gen 6 too, and it happened in other.
That's true, but there's something to be said like about how stiff these cars are when you come down on right. I mean, these next gen cars, they do not have the recoil like Billie Eilish. Like, I mean, it's pretty rough. But yeah, Corey Heim is replacing Eric Jones for the time being. Jimmy Johnson said he would be open to running. So maybe Jimmy probably needs the extra track time.
I honestly just like the idea of Jimmy making a start in the 43 car.
Yeah, I think that would be
Just
fucking
for,
baller.
yeah, just for aesthetic purposes, I think it's pretty cool. So maybe that'll happen at like Darlington.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Legacy sucks.
They do really badly.
Are big suck. Jimmy Johnson is figuring out these cars. Eric Jones is doing the best he can, and John Hunter Nemechek is one of the worst drivers in the Cup Series right now. I don't feel bad about saying that, and I don't think that's an entirely false accusation either. He drove like a fucking moving chicane yesterday. So yeah, Legacy's. We thought that move to Toyota was going to be a step up, and it doesn't really seem like that happened.
Well, all manufacturer changes have a little bit of a growing pains period.
Yeah.
I think it's just surprising because they did kind of turn up the wick at the end of last season.
And they were getting Toyota support by that point, and
they were getting Toyota support, but they hadn't switched anything, so they're still using everything was still familiar.
Yeah.
And then when you switch over, I'm hypothesizing, I guess, but when you switch over, then you still gotta do the physical switch over. I don't know how big of a change that is in the next gen era, but I mean the aero's different, the engines are different. So I mean, I'm sure there's still plenty of engineering hurdles to overcome. And luckily they got a guy like Eric Jones who's been consistently solid in pretty much everything he's driven. So I think they'll get it turned around.
Yeah, I hope so. For Eric's sake, not so much for John Hunter. And then the biggest news, turns out we're not actually going to talk about the race. I've decided this. We're just going to talk about this for the next 40 minutes. Kyle Larson will not practice or qualify his 5 car at the All-Star race. And so they tapped this young hot shoe named Kevin fucking Harvick to drive the 5 car and practice and qualifying at the All-Star race. And if that doesn't put lead in your pencil, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it definitely did mine. I mean, we're standing there. We're watching driver intros or whatever, waiting for the race to start. And I feel a vibration in my back pocket. And my spidey senses went off, and I had a text from our good friend Peter.
Disturbance in the force.
I had a text from our good friend Peter Strada, and I was like, Peter, why are you texting me? We just saw you. We just waved, and it said Kevin Harvick's gonna qualify and practice the 5 car, and I was like, I lost it. I went ape shit in the grandstands. This is the coolest thing ever. I really hope there's flight trouble and Kyle Larson can't make it to the All-Star race and Kevin Harvick can lower his nutsack on the field in the 5 car and do what he does. This is fucking cool. I'm excited.
I'm having fun with how excited you are about this because I've literally been there. For people who don't know, I grew up a Jeff Gordon fan, and then Dale Jr. gets hurt, and here comes Jeff Gordon out of retirement to go run some races.
God, it's Jeff Gordon.
And I got to have a whole lot of fun with that. I think I saw him run 2 races that year, Darlington and Martinsville. Yeah. And so a little bit more than just practice and qualifying, but I mean, shit, anything you can get after post-retirement is good,
Dude, I will be I will be decked out head to toe in 5 gear, and let me tell you, if you were at Wilkesboro during practice and qualifying, you will see me losing my shit every time the 5-car goes by. I will be the most obnoxious person in Wilkes County that day. I promise you that. Yeah, and
I believe you.
And let me tell you, if Kyle Larson wins the All-Star race, we are gonna party like it's 1999. Let me tell you, we ain't going to bed that night, boy. We are gonna party because you know what? Kevin Harvick won the All-Star race. It's a Kevin Harvick win. I'll have a race version in one of these cases if Kyle Larson wins the All-Star race, because that is a win forwarded by the man himself, the closer, Kevin Harvick.
That'd be one of those things years from now. People would be like, "Why you got this random Kyle Larson car and all your Kevin Harvick stuff?" And you'd be like, no. That was a team effort. That was the Rolex 24 of Wilkesboro, and Kevin Harvick was the journeyman driver. Kyle Larson was the A driver. However, they do driver rankings and himself. But anyway, Kyle was just a closer that day, man.
Yeah, that's right, Kyle Larson.
That'd be funny because I'd be able to tell you the whole time, like, yeah, Kevin got outclosed by Kyle Larson.
So Seth has been on this crusade over the past couple of weeks, calling Dale Earnhardt a mid driver, which is I feel like a sin to say on Dale Earnhardt's birthday, which today is.
I didn't actually say it on Dale Earnhardt's birthday. I've said it. I did not say it today.
You did.
Because your mom said, and I quote, "You're not quite as cool as Dale Earnhardt." And I said, "I guess I got to work on the mustache."
Yeah. Well, no, you texted me today, and
I did. I forgot about that.
I posted something on my Instagram story about Dale Earnhardt's birthday, and you said mid, which obviously Seth is taking the piss. Yep. But I said, "Yep, Kevin Harvick stay replacing mid drivers, huh?"
It's fair. It's a fair point.
Yeah. Nice clap back. Anyway, so yeah, I'm done for the show. I mean, we'll see y'all next week. I've talked about what I want to talk about.
I guess I'll just sit here and talk about
just
whatever.
Monologue the rest of this thing.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, yeah, I mean, Rick Hendrick apparently called Kevin Harvick to have him drive the car, and I have to imagine it was just. I don't know. I mean, you would think they want someone experienced to shake the car down, but then also, I don't know. It's just it's a very cool but a little bit odd situation. It'd be really odd to see Kevin Harvick in a 5-car, but
again,
well, not necessarily a 5-car, Hendrick car.
I mean, the whole situation is a little odd, to be completely honest, but
yeah.
Hey.
I'll tell you,
fine by us.
I'll tell you what, I'm not shocked by a lot of things that happen in NASCAR, but this definitely was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, that's out of left. That is the definition of out of left field, I would say.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're gonna be at Wilkesboro, make sure you look out. It's gonna get loud during practice. Let me tell you.
I think it's funny because this whole thing. Because what I'm curious about is if they'll have an official backup driver for the Coca-Cola 600. And if that backup driver would indeed be Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick.
I mean, I agree, but Kevin Harvick also might say, I don't really want to do 600 miles. I don't think he wants to run
the 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Kevin would be, but also if he gets in a Hendrick car and he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Then he might go, yeah, I could do it once.
Yeah, I could start the race.
I mean, full disclosure, Kyle Larson fan, hoping nothing goes wrong and he gets to run the 600, obviously. But
I hope he wins. No, it'd be funny. He wins the Indy 500 and some reason misses the start of the 600. Harvick runs the car, starts the race. Larson gets in and wins the 600. and Kevin Harvick gets his 61st career win, and Kyle Larson unofficially wins the double.
I mean, that wouldn't happen because if Kyle won the 600 and was running, or if Kyle won the 500 and was running late, I almost can guarantee NASCAR would delay the start.
No, they wouldn't.
Why wouldn't they?
I would be so pissed.
That'd be the biggest blunder in NASCAR history. Hey, you're a former champion of your series, just won the Indy 500. His plane's running 20 minutes late, and you're like, we can't.
I was more thinking if the race got like rain delayed or something.
Oh no, I'm just thinking. No.
No.
I mean that's why he has Tony Kanaan standing by just in case the Indy 500 gets rain delayed and Kyle can't make it, can't run it. He's gonna have to come back to Charlotte. So
yeah. All right. Let's get into the actual race. The Xfinity race. We're actually going to talk about this because we were there.
Outside of the thing we normally talk about, of course.
Yes. This is exactly. I don't know. The Xfinity race, as normal, was much better than the Cup race.
Per usual.
Yeah. It was
except at Atlanta for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really know what much to talk about. It was like, you had the normal guys up front, Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer, but of course it gets down to the end of it and we just have all the wrecks and all the cautions. And it looked as though Carson Kvapil was going to win in his second Xfinity start, but then I remembered that nothing good ever happened, and so Ryan Truex ends up winning the race, despite Austin Hill trying his best efforts to wreck whoever was standing in his way, proving yet again that he is the middest driver with the worst attitude.
Yeah.
He wants to be Dale Earnhardt, but he wouldn't be a scab on Dale Earnhardt's ass.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate. Other than that, I don't really have much to talk about the Xfinity race. Ryan Truex won. I was pissed off about it.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, we were really hoping Carson would win. That would be great for on-tour ratings.
And also it just would have been great in general because he ran a great race.
I mean, I guess, but yeah, it would have, I'm selfish. But yeah, I don't know. I will talk about the main thing about the Xfinity race later on.
The actual important things, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
To that one guy who said, "Who cares?"
Oh yeah, hang on. No, there was a guy. He commented on one of these videos. He goes, "Who cares about Shane Van Gisbergen?" I would like everybody who watches this video to comment down below and just say, "I care about Shane Van Gisbergen," and fuck you. Because
last part's optional, but you can do it anyway.
That pissed me off. You know what? No reason.
If you just look up Shane Van Gisbergen on YouTube, you'll find all sorts of videos with all sorts of views. Like apparently a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, a lot of people care about Shane Van Gisbergen. We care about Shane Van Gisbergen. And you know what, guy? We care about Shane Van Gisbergen more than we care about you.
Well, duh. I don't know who that guy is.
I care about Shane Van Gisbergen more than I care about my cat.
That's not
true. It's not true. It's not true.
You didn't even rename him to Shane.
I did not. His name's
still
Happy.
Named after Kevin Harvick, which is lame.
Yeah,
there's no dedication.
Of the 5 car driver of the HendrickCars.com number 5, Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a Clash idea.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, the Dover horse track. Fuck it, let's do it.
Oh, now it's okay. We do a Clash on dirt.
When I suggested it,
it was the dumbest idea you've ever heard of. When you suggest it, it's cool.
It's not dirt.
I mean, it's basically dirt.
Nah, dude, I want to sit in the casino. I want to sit where we snuck into on Saturday night and
allegedly
watch the Clash. Yeah, allegedly. Cup race. I guess start out. It was a okay race. I mean, it was. You knew what it was going to be, kind of going in. Dover with this car is good. It, especially when it's hot out, it provides multiple grooves. We thought in practice it looked like it could be a Bristol situation, but obviously given the track conditions on Sunday, that was not going to be the case. Yeah, I mean, it was the main guy. Like, if you said, give me the top handful of drivers in the Cup Series, those were the ones up front, and that's kind of how Dover is.
Yeah, which I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I said it last week. It's one of those man. It's what separates the boys from the men. It really, I mean, and it showed. I mean, you had the Truexes and the Hamlins and the Larsons, and Alex Bowman had himself a good run going. Until Denny Hamlin tried to put him in a damn sandwich on pit road, and that kind of screwed the pooch for Bowman's day. But yeah, it was obviously came down to air blocking. So let's talk about that.
I mean, it's been dumb every other time we've done it. I'm saying it looks dumb every time we do it, and it's silly. Like, there's no tension to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, with 10 to go, I basically looked around and I said, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle couldn't. There's not enough room, and even it's it's pretty much impossible at like Las Vegas, but especially at like Dover, there's not really enough room where you could like surprise someone, or even then, it's like say he thinks you're gonna go to the top and you dive to the bottom. Well, if he gets there late and just you have to cross the wake, that's gonna mess you up even more than just running in his tracks. So, there's not a whole lot you can do to it. You can keep trying and maybe push him into a mistake. That's like all you can do.
Yeah. It's I mean, it was tough. We saw it at the end of stage I guess it was stage 2 that Larson won. I mean, he aero blocked the hell out of Alex Bowman. Won't do it for a championship, but he'll do it for his team, to keep his teammate at bay. So thanks, Kyle. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of a appetizer to what the finish of the race was going to be. I mean, it was very much a clean air dominant race, and there's so many pieces to this car that we've made just so much easier. We've made the drivers' lives so much easier, like the brakes and the rear view camera. But it's also just made things that much harder. And I heard a quote from Kyle Busch that said, this car is better as a defensive tool than an offensive tool, which is not how racing should be, in my opinion.
No, I agree. That's pretty much how I felt about it. I mean, even going back to like 2 years ago, watching like the Larson and Kurt Busch battle at Kansas. That was pretty much what it was, and then Kyle just built too loose and couldn't hang on to that spot. But ultimately, like if you could really do what you need to do in second place, Kurt would have been by him 10, 15 laps prior to that ever happening. Yeah. So it's not like this is something that we've built into with the next gen car. It was there from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, so, it was there with the old car as well, with the 550 package, and
that's where they really learned it.
Yeah, and apparently, like, that's when they learned it. But apparently, if they had known this before, it would have been a thing, like, in any generation of car. And yeah, I wonder, because like, I feel like if we add horsepower, that's not really. Is that? I wonder how that's going to affect like mid corner speed, and that's the real problem here. Which then again, you're gonna have more throttle response, so crossing a wake and losing momentum is not going to be as detrimental. But it's not going to do as much as far as like the air coming off the diffuser. I don't feel like.
I don't think that in itself would be even like the make the biggest difference. I think the issue we have currently, I think the issue we really have currently is it's not hard enough to get in the corner properly.
Yeah.
So a driver doesn't have to take any focus away from looking at the camera or the mirror or just placing the car where he wants it. He doesn't have to take any of that concentration to getting into the corner first and then setting up second. It's all just set up because the car is pretty much going to corner itself as long as you turn the wheel properly. So I think that's really the biggest issue because like it's kind of it's maybe not as big of a deal at a place like Las Vegas or something, but definitely Dover. Like Dover should be sketchy on quarter entry.
It should, yeah.
Yeah. So now horsepower would change the breaking point a little bit.
Yeah.
So that would change it in the short term. I think you get one race under your belt there. I think that's no longer an issue. It kind of just goes back to it. Anything related to the mechanical grip we added, I think, has been a net loss for the Cup Series.
Yeah. There's been I mean, what do you think about the rear view camera?
I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
But also I don't know if it I understand what Kyle was saying in his post race, how when at the end of stage 2 in Vegas and stuff like that, he's just watching the camera and just doing it. But also, if he didn't have that, the spotter would be saying the same thing. But it probably would change it a little bit. I don't know if it would have that much of a effect on it though. But I don't think we need it.
Yeah, I think we need as little driver aid as far as making him independently able to defend, I guess.
Yeah.
Outside of, either info he gets from a spotter or just,
Yeah, I mean we could go that route. There it's kind of relaxed now, but back in the day in Formula 1, the team used to not really be able to tell the driver anything. Like it's been relaxed to some extent, but there's still some things they can't tell you. Another thing I saw going around is that NASCAR is pretty much the only racing series right now where everyone's data is just widely available.
Yeah, I'm kind of over this. Yeah, I don't think we need that because that creates people driving the same. It's just
I mean, we've seen it happen in real time how it made everyone drive the same.
When you look at Formula 1, all the data they have as far as and I don't even think they have driver data, do they? On everybody else.
I don't think they have each other's data.
Yeah, but you see how much technology and shit, and you see how terrible their racing is. I think there's a point where you have to stay with the times. I get it. But also you got to limit the tools in the toolbox. And I feel like we have kind of opened up Pandora's box, and it is just all these, one thing after another has just created, it's just exacerbated the problems that we have with this car at certain tracks. It's just we come up every week. We get on here and talk about what we need to change and what we need to do, and it's just, it's pennies. It's peanuts at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that short of changing anything on the car, that is probably the thing we could change that would make the biggest difference. Now, we've had 2.5 years or 2.25 years on this car with everyone sharing data. So it would have a minor impact unless we made a big change the following season after we got rid of SMT data being widely available.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, I don't think it matters right now if people are able to see SMT data for the rest of the season. I don't think it matters. But I definitely think next year, if we make some sort of big change, or even if we don't, but if we make some sort of big change, whenever we go to a new motor, no one needs to be able to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. I think also, and this is not solely a next gen problem, but it definitely, next gen has opened our eyes to it, because fuck, I totally lost my train of thought here. Well, it's next gen. There's previous generation of cars, there were many different ways to approach and attack a corner and approach a driving style, right? And next gen, it's pretty much you have to drive it a certain one sort of way. You see Jimmy Johnson, what he's doing right now. He's driven his whole career off the right rear, and he's having to drive it off the left front now. And it used to be you could do either or and make it work depending, on what kind of setup you had in the car. Now you can't do that. Just the way this car is, and we need to. I don't know. I am leaning more and more towards the high downforce, high horsepower, because I think that's the only thing that would work with this car. Like, I don't think we need to take downforce away. I think we need to keep whatever downforce we have and make it higher horsepower. And I think that will complement the diffuser. I think it would complement the dirty air, and the step splitter we have. And yeah, I think that I am pretty convinced that's the way we need to go with this.
Yeah. So either way, I have two things. One, I feel like one last thing on the data. I feel like everyone being able to see everyone's data is kind of like if the NFL just sent out everybody's playbook.
That's exactly what it is.
And everyone had a copy of it. Like that's kind of what we do in the Cup Series, and then we wonder why everything's so tight and nothing ever happens.
You would imagine how boring football would be if everybody was just knew exactly what somebody was going to do and defended it.
Yeah.
Like
there'd be no sport in it, because you'd be able to put in the right personnel in every play, and it would be, there would be no excitement to a good play.
I want Kyle Larson to drive like Kyle Larson drives, not look at what Denny Hamlin's doing because he's faster than him in practice.
Yeah. 100%. And then what was the point you made a second ago?
High horsepower, high downforce.
Okay. Either way, however which way we need to achieve it, obviously, apparently high horsepower is off the table. But there's definitely ways where we can get it being sketchy into the corner and sketchy off the corner. That'll lower your mid-corner speeds. Chuck sent a thing today that said that ARCA lap times were slightly faster than Cup lap times or whatever. To be honest, if we got into the corner like we should, the lap times would go down.
Yeah.
Like, a faster lap time doesn't mean anything. If we took 100 more horsepower out of the car, the lap times would increase. Yeah. Because there'd be no wiggle room at all.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I'm not interested in faster lap times. It's just I mean, at no point yesterday, without someone having a problem or contact, did it look like someone went into the corner and like almost lost it.
I watched Corey LaJoy about lose it. But
he sucks.
The worst driver in the field, so I'm not shocked. Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting the way, like, how we saw more of that during cool temperatures than we did during, hot and slick temperatures. Like in qualifying, we saw Kaz Grala and Zane Smith and Christopher Bell all have issues. They just bust their ass. And then we get to the race and everybody's pretty stuck. So
yeah, that just comes down to the way the tires are in the series.
Yeah.
And on a concrete track.
But at the end of the day, it was another classic Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson duel.
Has Kyle ever won any of these? It's always Denny, right?
I think it's pretty much always Denny. And I'm hard-pressed to believe that if Kyle would have gotten to Denny, that it wouldn't have ended pretty much how all the other ones end, in Kyle Larson in the wall.
I was thinking that if he had gotten to his back bumper, he would have just moved him because of last year.
I would, or at least so.
Tried to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was Larson tried and tried, could not do it. Denny Hamlin got the win, his 54th win. He got another cucumber thrown at him, which was hilarious. He is having himself a fucking year.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, good Lord. Is this
He's not consistent at all.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess you don't have to be.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Is this Denny's year? No.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll believe it when I see it. And I like Denny, but yeah, I don't.
I'm of the opinion that it doesn't really matter, though.
No,
because
it doesn't.
Denny's at this point in his career, especially with this playoff format, where it's like
he's won 54 races. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You've tied Lee Petty on the all-time win list. Like, you've accomplished what you need to accomplish.
I think he's firmly cemented himself as the best driver without a championship.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Martin wasn't that good anyway, but that's
Mark Martin
a joke.
was, yeah.
That's a
well,
joke.
No, I know when I say that, people are going to get upset because everyone just kind of universally agrees it's Mark Martin. But I mean, if you take it into account, I think the crown jewels Denny has is, I think he needs a Brickyard, I think, to really fully cement it. But he's got 3 Daytona 500s, 4 Southern 500s, 3 Bristol night races,
Coke 600,
2 Coke 600s, one. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if he adds that Brickyard this year, next year, something like that, I think that's pretty much all he needs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and 3 Final Four appearances?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You kind of it really has gotten to the point where you got to kind of judge how good your season is off of the wins you have, and then if you can make it to the Final Four, then you obviously that's you want to win the trophy, but with the way this is, it doesn't. It's not as significant as it used to be.
Because it's like, is anyone really going to try and convince you that Ryan Blaney's a better driver than Denny Hamlin?
You look at the best drivers in the field. Kevin Harvick made the Final Four however many times. Kyle Busch made it however many times. Martin Truex. I mean, even Joey Logano, as mid as he is. You look at the drivers that we hold and place in the top echelon of the series, and they're guys that make it to the Final Four, that grind it out, get the wins during the season, and then grind it out. Joey Logano is just flat out lucky. Like, that's all that is. He's not that good. But any of the other drivers I said, it shows. And I think Denny Hamlin falls right in that category. So, I don't know. 3 wins this year. And we're only however many races in. The way Gibbs and Toyota are running, I mean, I could see Denny winning 8 or 9 races this year. He keeps on it. But that's the thing. This car is so a lot of this car is so wishy-washy. You can get on a heater and then you can fall off quick. So, yeah, I could see it going either way.
100%. What was the other race he won last year? Not Pocono and Bristol. What was the other one?
Kansas.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. When he wrecked Kyle.
Yeah. The thing with Denny, at least the past three years, because 2020 he capitalized on most of the opportunities he had.
Yeah.
And then there was the Brickyard that wasn't his fault. The damn thing just grenaded. Well, I guess did he overdo it or something? I don't know. Anyway.
No, I think it just popped.
Yeah. But yeah, ever since then, 21 he had like 5 that he should have won that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I feel like 22 there were a couple. I know obviously Pocono. I feel like there were a couple more. I feel like he's almost won like every Martinsville race in the past 10 years and hasn't won any of them.
I mean, Chris Gabehart has just elevated Denny. I mean, because he went through, 16, he won, I think, maybe 2 or 3 races. I think 2.
I think it was 3.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And then 17, he won 1. 18, he didn't win any. And then he gets with Chris Gabehart in 19, and he wins like 6 in 2019. He wins, 7 in 2020. He was consistently one of the best cars in 21. Makes the Final Four in, 3 years in a row. And then, we go to 22. They were quick. Last year, they were the championship favorites. This year, they're on an absolute tear. I mean, they keep getting better. And
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. So,
but like you said, anything can happen. And the thing is Gibbs and Hendrick have both been. I feel like they've been equally strong this year. I don't think anyone's anywhere close, but Gibbs and Hendrick have been equally strong. And
I think Gibbs has been a tick better. I think Gibbs has been better because if you look at Byron, he dominated. Well, I don't
twice.
know. Reddick had the best car in Vegas. Reddick was better than Kyle.
He did.
And if you look at,
but it's better as a defensive tool.
Reddick,
and I feel like
Reddick and Hamlin were both better than Elliott at Texas. I think Toyota's been the strongest, but they've failed to execute as well as HMS. I feel like
that's fair, but HMS I feel like it has also failed to execute, like because Byron hasn't missed any that he should have had, I don't think.
Byron never misses any that he should.
No, he's missed a couple. No, historically he misses some he should. He just gets all the ones he shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, the 5 has 6 stage wins this season, and something happens at the end of every race. I mean, that's the thing with going ahead and crowning Denny the favorite is the 5 team is kind of looking like they did a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, he won Vegas and then just ran like right where he's running now. Right where he's running now and just didn't win until the 600. So it adds up for sure. The only reason I say it's something different because normally Toyota doesn't really put on the heat until we get to the 600. It always seemed like every year we get to the 600 and that's when Toyota turns up the wick. And it seems like this year they've come out the gate strong with this new nose. And I think that's something to at least take note of. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah. The only reason I was trying to stop you a little bit when we were talking about Reddick, I did want to bring up. So Kyle Busch obviously said this car was better as a defensive tool than an offensive tool, and it's humorous to me because I remember getting on the 5 team after Las Vegas by saying all they ever do is build a short run car, and then Kyle has to aero block at the end. And then yesterday they had a long run car, which I think they kind of had to build it into a long run car because they were terrible in qualifying. But and it didn't work. And Hamlin's team, they mid race made it a short run car. I think it jacked the air pressures up a little bit or something, because that thing took off like a rocket, and then Kyle always came back to him, but he couldn't get by him.
No one got away this entire race until Denny Hamlin got to the lead, and that sumbitch was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, my jaw hit the damn bleachers. I was like, what in the hell did they do that at 11 car?
Well, and the funniest thing about that was that previous run, literally the run right before that, they were a long run car.
Yeah.
And they came in at the end. They made whatever adjustment they made. I guess they probably took a round out of the track bar and bumped the air pressures up. And yeah, that thing was a rocket, like crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, Denny Hamlin gets the win at Dover. It's about all we had. There wasn't much else to go with. Is it time?
I think it is.
The rundown from down under.
The final time onto the front stretch. He comes to the checkered flag. He's won the very first street race in NASCAR.
The rundown from down under. Shane had himself. I've said this was going to be it was going to be a tough day for him. It was going to be a hard work day, and it was. It was. Shane grinded it out. Qualified, I think, 32nd, and just moved up through the field, moved up, went a lap down, I think a couple different times, and ended up with the top 20 finish.
Yeah, something to be said for the resilience of him for this week. But yeah, you're spot on. Dover was definitely, especially since he hadn't gotten the chance to run Bristol yet. Dover was definitely going to be a steep learning curve, because I mean, there wasn't anything else that was even
nothing like Dover. We said in the Cup race, the top echelon of drivers in this series are going to be the ones who run up front at Dover, and same could be said for the Xfinity series. You saw the best Xfinity drivers, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, those guys ran up front. I don't know what the fuck Austin Hill's car had in it to make him run up front, because he sucks.
obligatory fuck Austin Hill.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and for him to come out in his first Dover start and keep it clean, and there was a lot of carnage there at the end that presented a lot of opportunities for that not to happen, and to come out of there with a top 20 finish, I think is solid. And again, you look at where his teammates were. Like AJ
outran Josh Williams.
Yeah, he did, and just flat out outran him.
Yeah,
and I think, again, just another day of, it wasn't flashy, but he impressed.
Yep, 100%. Now there's something to be said for Shane's wreck avoidance ability. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen
top tier,
good.
Dude.
It's
top tier.
Absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. That big wad up on the front straightaway or right before the overtime or whatever it was. It
was like Phoenix. 3 or 4 guys passed him and got in the wreck.
Yeah,
and he just put it on through there and got himself the lucky dog. And he's like, all right, come out here top 20.
We just see him go through, and I'm like, I was like, he made it through. Okay, I don't know how, but he did it.
I mean, it happened literally right there with him. So yeah.
Other than that, amazing.
Other than that, there wasn't much to say. I mean, it was a good day. I mean, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was it was just a day where he grinded it out. I'm sure he learned a lot.
Yep.
We do want to send condolences. Shane did lose his mom here in the past couple of weeks. So just want to send condolences to Shane and his family for the loss there. So. But yeah, that's all we had this week for the rundown from Down Under. We will go on to Xfinity Run Kansas.
They might not.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't think
they do. Yeah,
I don't think they do. So I guess Darlington will be his next stock. Shit, he's gonna have himself. That's another one.
That's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
For the newbies out there, Darlington is by far the most unique oval track in NASCAR.
It is. It's much like Dover as far as like the
Who runs
cream.
well there.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top. So, and I think I could see him if he gets some long runs. I could see him doing really well there. So.
It'll be definitely one where the first 2 stages will be survival, and then hopefully he'll have found a footing by the 3rd stage, and then he can kind of just get in a groove and pick them off.
Tire management, he's really good at that. So I think that will play into his hand for sure at Darlington, because that is the name of the game for sure.
The only thing is I don't think he's run anything yet where he needs to like rip the fence, right?
No.
So that is going to be, now I don't know what I don't think he would have ever done anything like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But
he did like he races dirt.
Well, yeah, but ripping the fence in dirt and ripping the fence on pavement's a little bit different.
Well, I mean, you look at the guys like Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson and all these guys who are good on dirt.
Yes, they're very good at it. But
it translates.
The common denominator is that they're really good and have great car control, which obviously Shane does.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't expect him to be an expert at it his first attempt.
I expect to win and nothing less.
This is why you're always disappointed. But I feel like because like when we were watching him at Dover, we were sitting far enough down into turn 4 where we had a straight shot down the front straightaway. And pretty much every time Shane got off of turn 4, at least for the first half the race or so, basically every time he got off turn 4, he would kind of pull down like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't quite comfortable running all the way to the wall and sticking it there. So I feel like it
could have just been how his car was handled too.
It could have been. But part of the problem is I bet the car, it's highly unlikely that every week or any week so far he's had the car set up 100% the way it should be, just because he doesn't quite know what the feeling should be in it. So I feel like in 3 and 4 at Darlington, he's probably going to end up running like a lane and a half off the wall, and maybe just due to that won't be able to quite carry the kind of speed he needs.
I'll put it like this: if you guys watching, pay attention to how he runs at Darlington here, and then take note of that and take it with you for when we go back to Darlington in the fall and compare. I think that'll be a good test to see how the difference and how much he's improved there. All right, now that is the rundown.
Now we've concluded.
Yes. Let's get into Dover. Was it bitchin'?
It was. Being there was super bitchin'.
Yes.
The atmosphere at Dover is a fun one.
Yeah.
For
Miles
sure.
Miles the Monster is quite impressive. Or is you guys from down under Kilos the Beast or whatever y'all want to call him. That's what I was calling him during the Xfinity race. Decked out in Shane gear. He was Kilos. He was not Miles.
But yeah, so definitely if you've never been to Dover, I would highly recommend it. I believe Buddy would as well.
Yes, 100%. It was awesome.
The race was a perfectly average, decent enough next gen race.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's not really that much. Yep. It was bitching enough.
Bitching enough that it didn't ruin my day.
Exactly. Sundress and dumbass.
All right. I think, do we have the same sundress? I would imagine.
Who do you have?
Carson Quapple.
Oh, I mean, yes, I picked a different one
Okay.
just because I knew you guys would be. Chuck also picked Carson Quapple as sundress for obvious reasons. Second Xfinity start, late model guy comes out and runs second in the Xfinity race. I definitely settled on tour that I had high expectations for Carson, and he proved me right, so appreciate that.
Yeah, because him coming out and running fourth at Martinsville, I was like, okay, great, but it's super familiar. Like, it's a super familiar kind of racetrack for him. To go and do it even better at Dover,
Josh Berry did the same thing.
That's very true. Very true.
Josh Berry did the same thing. My sundress is Daniel Suarez because he today passed his citizenship test and he is a U.S. citizen now. So
He wasn't this whole time?
No, he was.
He's been running NASCAR on like a green card forever, basically?
I guess, yeah.
Or a work visa?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, congrats, Daniel.
So congrats on mi amigo for that. Yeah, dumbass.
Austin Hill.
Damn. Yeah, I had Austin Hill as well. I had Austin Hill.
There's Austin Hill, and then
the guy driving the wrong fucking way down the highway in Washington D.C. Yeah.
I would say it's not that hard, but also the roads in DC are kind of fucked. So I can kind of see how it would happen, but like that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, probably Republican. Let's be real. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, also, whoever didn't have the White House lit up. Why?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I went out of my way to go see the White House, and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize we passed it.
Yeah.
Until we already passed it.
Yep. Yeah. Picks. You picked Noah Gragson.
I did.
And won the picks.
Yeah. And he ran really well.
Yeah.
I kind of kept forgetting. I thought he was running worse than he was most of the race because I kept thinking he was in the Overstock car when he was in the Miller Tech car.
I thought he was a lap down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, something he said. I picked Bowman. Chuck picked Blaney. They both led laps. Well, no, Bowman didn't lead laps, but Bowman was challenging for the lead. Yeah, at some point, and Noah beat him out both. So who are you picking for Kansas?
I am going to pick Old Faithful, the 45 car at
Fuck!
Kansas.
Damn it! Scratch that out. Ready. Okay. I think Chuck beat me. Who do you pick?
He picked Blaney. Yeah, he beat you because Blaney was 5th. Gregson was 4th, I believe.
Yeah. So who did Chuck pick?
Shit. Corey Heim.
The fuck? Okay.
That's Chuck for you.
All right. Fuck. Already picked Bubba. I can't pick Denny. I already picked Ty Gibbs. God damn it.
Yeah, this game is kind of frustrating. Especially when I pick Kyle Larson at Bristol every year, and
Kyle Larson. There we go. That's who I'm picking.
There you go. Well, unless Tyler Reddick wins, that's gonna be a win for Buddy because Kyle's gonna definitely finish 2nd.
I hope Kyle can win it. Yeah.
If Kyle finishes 2nd, I'm gonna go ahead and pencil him in for a Coke 600 win, though.
It's not how this works, Seth.
I mean, I can't pick him. I already picked him at Bristol, and he finished 5th. So.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's all we got this week for you folks.
Yep. Be sure to go watch a mid episode of Push to Pass because I was tired and kept forgetting what the hell I was trying to talk about.
Hell yeah.
But I tried to edit around it. So give it a watch. Give it a dislike if you hate it. It's fine. Just engage with it. I don't really care.
Shout out to the mannequin.
Shout out to Georgina.
Georgina?
I wish I'd have watched David's video before I did it because I learned the name of the mannequin in his video.
Georgina. What a baddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really into Giotto because he ran her over. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess technically she chose. So did you watch that video?
No. I did not.
So apparently the lore with Georgina is that the idea was that someday she would fall off and she would fall into the cockpit of the driver she chose, and that would be her forever love.
Dude, IndyCar's fucking weird. All right. Yeah. We'll see you after Kansas. Y'all go fuck yourselves.